So now, Michelle, we're talking about the self-love vows. There's seven of them, I
Hmm.
believe, correct? There's
Yes.
seven of those. So you made a statement. You said that we spend half of our lives wanting and waiting to take the traditional wedding vows with someone else, but we're unaware that we need to take the vows to self first. Like, that's such a
Yes.
powerful statement. Like, and then
Yes.
you go on to say, we we stand before God, right? The minister, the
Hmm.
congregation, and commit to
Hmm.
some of the most important vows that one can take. Another powerful statement. So when we're talking about these self-love vows, I'm looking at this like a commitment, as if we would commit to our spouse when we're taking those vows. Can you share a little bit of those vows, the seven, or is that something you can do?
Yes, I can share the seven vows with you that are going to sound very familiar. For those of you that are married, that are thinking about getting married, or that are not married, you've heard it at some point in your life. And then I can focus on just two of them and give your audience some self care tips to get them going.
I think that would be
So,
perfect.
yes, absolutely. So the first vow, to have and to hold from this day forward, for better, for worse, for richer, for poor, in sickness and in health, to love and to cherish, to death do I part, as long as I shall live. Now, when you're taking it to, or extending those vows to someone else, it's to death do us part, as long as we shall live. But I believe that I have to take those vows to self first before I can even think about extending that to another. After doing this for so long, for like 20 years now, what I have found as a common denominator in couples is that they didn't take their self vows to themselves. And so that's why there's so many challenges that come up in the relationship and unresolved, issues. And honestly, they didn't even know to take the self vows to themselves. So that has been definitely a great concept that I have been able to not only share through the Self Vows book, but also with the world, because it was really a gift to me. So to have and to hold from this day forward. So let's ask yourself, who are you? Now, when you answer, I want you to answer in the noun, not who you were, not who you want to be, but who are you? So it would sound like I am fear, I am peace, I am courage, etc. So ask yourself that. Are you stuck? Do you blame yourself consistently for things that have happened in the past mistakes? Do you blame others for things that have happened in the past? Do you find yourself having a hard time moving forward?
Mm.
Because when you say to have and to hold, that means that acceptance. I am having everything about myself. I know I have flaws and quirks and all of that, but I'm having everything about myself in this moment. Does that mean that you can't choose to change what you feel that doesn't serve you? Of course not. But you are having you to hold. That's to support. That means you be your biggest cheerleader, regardless, because sometimes, even our biggest cheerleader, I like to think that my husband is my definitely my big cheerleader, and my mom is my big cheerleader. But you know what? I'm with me all day, every day, and they're not. So I have to be my biggest cheerleader. I have to make the choice to move forward or whether I'm going to stir in it. So the tip is accept what is and move forward from what was. Accept your unique flaws and your quirks. And here's a real good one. Stop comparing yourself to
Yes.
others, specifically on social media.
Mm.
It's a competition that you will never win. If anything we can be the expert in, be an expert on you. That's what I have tons of tips on that, but if you can just start there, I'm telling you, you have made like at least the first steps in really starting to nurture your self-love and self-care. The other vow that I would like to talk about, one of my favorites, because it took me so long to get there,
Mm-hmm.
is to love and to cherish. Ask yourself the questions. Do you like yourself? Do you spend time with you? Do you go to dinner by yourself? Do you take a walk on the beach by yourself? Do you do anything by yourself, or do you always need someone to assist you, with or accompany you? Do you love yourself? How do you value yourself? And then I would say on a scale from 1 to 10, rate your self-worth. Be honest. Like, what does that really look like? And do you feel powerless or do you feel powerful?
Mm.
Self-care is how you take your power back. Self-care is using your voice. It's choosing you on purpose. It's things like pampering yourself and massaging yourself. You don't have to wait. I know during this whole pandemic, one of the things that I really missed was going to the spa. But
Yes.
I had to realize, like, okay, look, you can't go, so you are going to have to start massaging yourself. I just bought like this massager. It's just so great. It is unbelievable. So I bought myself this massager, and guess what? I can do that in the middle of the day when I need it. I hug myself every morning when I wake up, and I kiss myself on my hand every morning when I wake up. That's me being very intentional about loving me. And I really feel like if you are intentional about doing something daily, even if it's just like for 15 minutes, that gives you like pure joy and peace, then do it. And that at least will start the steps in the right direction of building up your self-love and building up that self-care.
Oh, Michelle, you just said a mouthful. Like you literally just blessed my socks off just by sharing those two. I mean, we think about these vows when we're getting married, and it took me back to my wedding day, making these vows to
Mm,
this person. But imagine how I did this beforehand, right? Taking these
yes.
vows for myself. I can see this being having such a great impact on women. I mean, you're doing this already, having this powerful impact, so that when we do take other vows in life towards our careers and our spouses and our families, that we're in a place of peace and joy. And I've heard you
Yeah.
say that several times. Peace and joy are the two words that I
Yeah.
continuously hear you saying. But just imagine how much peace and joy we would have if we took the time out to do this for ourselves first and foremost. I mean,
Absolutely, absolutely. And I will say this, those two words mean a lot to me. So it can be something for someone else that really resonates with them in their life at this point. For me, it's peace and it's joy. So
yes, yes. And then you talked about comparing yourself. Like, how many of
yeah,
us are guilty of getting on social media and comparing? Oh, look what so and so was doing. Well, look what this person is doing. Oh, look at this couple over here. Well, look at this coach. She's a seven-figure coach, and look what. So we just kind of compare. And one of the things, even for me, over the past 3 years, I want to say you mentioned being an expert on you. I had an opportunity to really become an expert on me and to really tap into, my powers and to tap into my purpose and being the person that God called me to be, as opposed to trying to be like everyone else. Because we all have a unique gift, experiences, stories, that make us who we are. And we use those to pour into other people. So if I'm trying to be like Michelle, then that means that I'm really not tapping into my purpose and my gifts to be able to impact those people that I'm called to serve.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I have a small little confession to you. So I'm actually involved with you in another goal of mine. That is getting in the best shape that I've ever been in my life, physically and mentally. I just turned 49 years old, and one of my goals is
Wait
by
a
the
minute.
time
Wait a minute. Hold on. 49 and fine, because you don't look it. Okay, go ahead.
yes, 49 years old, but I really, and I don't even want to do it for anybody else. I just want to do it for me and be in the best shape that I feel good, and it's not even about anybody else. I've been there, I've done that in the comparison, but it's just for me. And I will tell you that going through your what do I want to call it? Your
The challenge, the fitness challenge, health and
yes,
wellness.
your fitness challenge. Yes. So I went through it, for the 21 days. It's not that I didn't lose any weight. I did, but my mindset wasn't quite where it needed to be for me to be totally successful in what success was defined for me. So I was a little discouraged because I felt like, and it was my birthday month too. It's still my birthday month. So I really celebrate my birthday. So I just got off track. And what I did though is I made the decision because I really love the products. I made the decision. I said, okay, so whatever, buy the product again because you just love it and you believe in it. And let's get started again. So I've gotten started, with it again. My mind is more clear. I have more energy because my mental and my physical, they're now connecting. And so now I can stay focused on that challenge. And I just thank you for that because it was just something about you and the way you presented it and the challenge that just really made me feel like I was safe and that I could do it. And to some people, you say, oh, I want to lose 10, 15 pounds. And they look at you and they're just like, where? You don't need to. And I'm like, no, you don't understand. I know what my healthy weight is. And I don't feel good at this particular weight. So anyways, I just want to thank you for that because it just was what I needed. And now I feel very connected to the challenge. And I love like the Zumba because I grew up on salsa music. So it was just, connecting back to childhood.
I love
I just had
that.
to tell you thank you for that. Yeah.
Wow, and thank you so much for sharing that. So I am doing another challenge starting April 1st. I'll be 46 April 19th, so this will be my, the challenge leading up to 46. And so I'm excited about that. But yes, our health and wellness is so important to us. And this year I really wanted to really go in and make sure that I was focusing on my health and wellness. I know that when as women, once we turn 40, it's a whole different ballgame. We got to work harder.
Yes,
We
yes,
have to
yes,
be
yes. Say
intentional.
that for the people all the way in the back, because that is so true. It's just so, so true. But
Yes.
I like the fact that you are in your 40s, which you totally look like you're in your 30s. But I like the fact that you are in your 40s and that when I'm listening to you, I feel connected, like, no, she gets it. It's not like someone is 32 telling me about how hard it is in their 40s. Like you're in your 40s and you're like, no, I get it. I totally understand. So,
Yes, I totally get it. And one of the things I did, I think that was 2019, part of every year for my birthday, I do something related to my health and wellness. And that's why I do the Zumba. That was part of my health and wellness goal. I think I was turning 44 and I was like, I'm going to become a Zumba instructor. Didn't know that I would have to use it during COVID-19 during the pandemic to actually stay in shape and then, create a group of people that I can be accountable to.